Chanel, Rowan, Koen, Quincy, Peter, Tim, Nicole, and our head judge, Nina. Okay, Fanie, whenever you're ready, you can cue your music and start your time. There we go.
Amazing, slick. How are we feeling? Are you guys comfortable, ready, happy, amazing? Awesome. Cool, can we just test the music another time? Great, so I'll cue that and then can we just get that from the top, hey? Amazing. All right, let's go with that music. Time. Heritage is something that makes us unique. It brings individuality to a sea of seemingly similar things. It's our greatest heirloom, and it makes us who we are. The same can be said for coffee. Each coffee's own genetic lineage is responsible for its characteristics at origin and its flavor profile in the cup. Now, it was long believed there was only a single center of origin for Coffea arabica, this being the highlands of Ethiopia. But now, through new research, a new center of origin for Coffea arabica has been established. Today, I'm excited to serve you two coffees. One from this first genetic lineage that we know well. The second from this newly established lineage. Please note, judges, the little cups, the little blue cups, you can replace your spoons back in there once you're done stirring. And there are cards in front there with flavor notes and coffee information if you guys miss anything. Our first coffee is a varietal called Típica Mejerado. Although misnamed a Típica, this coffee is actually a Bourbon varietal that was pollinated by an unclassified heirloom varietal. This coffee is grown in Ecuador, in the Intag Valley, by my friend Pepe, on Finca Soledad. We'll be tasting this coffee as a milk beverage. Pepe practices a minimal interference, biodynamic style of farming. These coffees are also shade grown, and all of these factors combine to slow down the cherry maturation, giving us a higher concentration of naturally occurring acids and sugars. I'm brewing these espressos using a recipe of 20 grams of coffee in the basket, extracting out 50 grams of liquid espresso into the cup in around 27 seconds. I'm combining these espressos with the milk that I've built specifically for this coffee. This consists of 1 part freeze-distilled milk, freeze-distilled full cream milk. This is a process of freezing and partially defrosting my milk, allowing me to concentrate the fats and sugars, resulting in a sweeter, creamier, concentrated liquid. I then diluted this with 1 part full cream milk, allowing me to maintain the flavor clarity in your milk beverage, while still maintaining those characteristics from the freeze-distilled milk, the sweetness and creamy texture. In your milk beverage, I'd like you to look for the following taste descriptors. I'd like you to look for chocolate ice cream. I'd like you to look for caramel and hazelnut praline dusted with cocoa. The beverage will have a creamy texture, and once you receive it, you can go ahead and enjoy. Koen, that's yours. I hope it's tasty. Please enjoy. Just to note, judges, this típica mejorado is a naturally processed coffee. And so we roasted this coffee with that in mind, starting our roast with the lower gas burner setting and increasing it after 1 minute. This allowed us to roast more evenly, and where we found the best balance of acidity and sweetness for you to enjoy today. To an end temperature of 207 degrees in 1 minute and 30 seconds after first crack. Chanel, that's yours. Enjoy. That's for you, Chris. Enjoy, bro. That should be tasty.
Round of applause for Fanie's milk drinks, folks.
Excellent judges. Are we all done assessing that milk beverage course? Incredible. For our next course, I'm serving you coffee from this new center of origin. In 2021, a paper was published, authored by Dr. Sarada Krishnan, establishing the Boma Plateau in South Sudan as a new center of origin for Cafea Arabica. This has massive potential for diversifying Cafea Arabica's genetics. This Sudan Rumey varietal is grown in Valle del Cauca in Colombia on Immaculata coffee farms. We're going to be enjoying this coffee as an espresso, but I'm pulling my signature beverage shots first. The whole green family on Immaculata coffee farms process this coffee as an anaerobic natural, doubling down on the amazing natural sweetness of the Sudan Rumey varietal. This varietal is also known for its resistance to coffee berry disease, making it an incredible breeding varietal. But I chose to serve it to you today because of that incredible sweetness and delicate acidity. I'm brewing these espressos for the espresso course and the signature course using the same recipe. 20 grams of coffee in the basket, extracting out 50 grams of liquid in around 26 seconds. This coffee was then dried using parabolic drying after being processed as an anaerobic natural. The coffee was dried in a greenhouse on rotating drying beds called a carousel, which exposes the coffee to the higher temperatures at the top of the greenhouse and the lower temperatures below. These factors combine to dry this coffee incredibly evenly, preserving those delicate varietal characteristics for us to enjoy. Now we're going to be tasting this espresso using a tool of our own, the Nucleus Coffee Tools Compass. This is a digital infrared thermometer which will allow me to give you more specific drinking instructions, enhancing your taste experience. Your drinking instructions for your espresso course are to stir until the espresso reaches 57 degrees centigrade and take your first sip. Then after that first sip, replace the cup under the compass, stir again until the espresso reaches 54 degrees centigrade. Once the coffee is below those temperatures, you guys are welcome to taste. The tactile for this espresso is as follows. I'd like you to look for a medium weight with a silky texture and a long finish. The espresso will have a medium acidity, a medium medium to high sweetness, and a low bitterness. On your first sip, I'd like you to look for flavor notes of passion fruit and sweet red grapefruit. On the second sip, I'd like you to look for flavor notes of cranberry and orange blossom that lingers through the finish. Again, just those temperature ranges. Once the coffee's below 57 degrees, you can take your first sip, and below 54 degrees for the second sip. There we are. You guys can go ahead and taste. Again, replace the spoons into the little cups once you guys are ready to enjoy. There we are. Stirring until the espresso reaches 57. And again, until it reaches 54. Enjoy those espressos, judges.
Let's put our hands together for Fanie's espressos, folks.
Excellent, judges. Moving on to my final course. For the signature beverage course, I'm going to further explore the flavor profile of the Sudan Rumé varietal that I brewed for your espresso course. Now, for that, I'm using 2 double espressos from the Sudan Rumé, using the same recipe that I brewed for your espresso course. The first ingredient is a fermentation of my own, which I use to enhance the sweetness, like the whole green family did on Immaculata. That's 40 grams of a lacto-fermented blueberry, which I made by inoculating 100 grams of blueberries with 1 gram of salt, and I fermented this at room temperature for 6 days. I blended and strained this. This is going to change the note of passion fruit to a red wine flavor in the signature beverage course. The next ingredient is 20 grams of pineapple juice. That is going to change the grapefruit characteristic in your signature beverage, in your espresso, to a beautiful blackberry note in your signature beverage course. By balancing the acidity in the espresso with these 2 ingredients, I balance the acidity in the espresso by adding those 2 ingredients. So I'm re-elevating that with 8 grams of a malic acid solution made with a 1 to 100 gram ratio of malic acid to water. The last ingredient to bring balance to the signature beverage is 8 grams of a muscovado sugar, simple syrup. The malic acid will highlight a new flavor note of crisp green apple, and the sugar brings balance. I'm combining these ingredients in my shaker, and I ask that you wait until I call time before assessing the signatures. Modern coffee suffers from a lack of genetic diversity. When coffee was propagated out of Ethiopia, only a handful of trees were taken that were parented most of Arabica growing throughout the world today. This leads to varietals that are harder to grow, more susceptible to disease, and have less value for farmers. The signature beverage course will have flavor notes of Pinot Noir, crisp green apple, blackberry with a creamy texture. I'll leave you with a quote from one of my favorite authors, Stephen Covey. We find not our strengths in our differences, in our similarities. We find our strengths in our differences. Judges, it has been such a pleasure to enjoy this experience with you today. Thank you so much. I call my time.
Hands together for Mr. Fanie from Bluebird Coffee Roastery. Step aside, Fanie. Come and stand with me over here. Lekker, man.
Lekker.
This is your third year.
Second nationals, fourth year competing.
Fourth year competing, and I've seen you compete a few times, and I've never seen you this calm and centered, right?
Hey, man.
And a barista competition is, of course, you got to make coffee, but all competitors will tell you, when you're on stage,
sure.
your hands don't do what they're supposed to do,
Yeah.
and your mouth sometimes doesn't say what it's supposed to say.
Sure.
How did you get this calm? After so many years, how do you prepare mentally for something like this?
I think you learn as you grow. I'm 27 years old now. I'm no longer a child, so that helps a lot. Maturity does help elevate and does help bring a little bit of calm to your skill set. And for me, obviously, prep is super, super important, being sure that you're practiced through prep time, through the presentation, and being ready for the competition day, avoiding any unknown factors,
Okay, nice. Between first round nationals and finals round, what did you change?
We had to change quite a lot. Obviously, the coffee that we used was last season's coffee, so we had to get fresh crop coffees. The coffee that I used was unfortunately not available to serve, so we had to change up the set entirely. This is a brand new set. I'm very happy, very proud to be here. And I think, so like I said, it's the coffees, it's the set, it's the everything.
Awesome. I'll chat to you in a sec. Let's say thank you and goodbye to your judges first.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to have you guys here. Thank you so much. Such a pleasure to have you here. Chris, thank you for tasting. Chanel, thank you for tasting. Everyone, thank you for tasting. Thank you for tasting. It was so lovely to have you guys here. Nina, thank you so much.
Round of applause for our judges again, folks. Thank you very much. Bye, Ranki. Okay, then the coffee.
The coffee.
Why did you choose this coffee, Fanie?
Two coffees.
These coffees.
These coffees. So for me, the narrative around the new center of origin was very important. I've been speaking back and forth with Dr. Sarada Krishnan, and so bringing that kind of innovation but new research to the table is very important to me. And so it resonates with me that there is new information, there's transparency of information. But first and foremost, these coffees are absolutely phenomenally delicious. And that is the reason that I chose to serve them. Pepe's coffee, the Típica Mejorado varietal from Finca Soledad. Pepe is a dear, dear, dear friend, and it's been such a pleasure to work with him over the course of the preparation of this competition. He has been phenomenal in providing information surrounding these coffees, providing insights into his growing, into his farming practices, that kind of thing, so we are very, very happy. And it fit the narrative of the two centers of origin, showcasing both, and that kind of thing.
Awesome. Last order of business. As we said earlier, it's not a one-man show. Anyone you'd like to thank? The floor is yours.
First and foremost, thank you to the producers, Immaculata Coffee Farms and Finca Soledad, Pepe. It's been amazing, amazing to work with your coffees. The business, Bluebird Coffee Roastery, the support has been phenomenal. It takes a lot to trust a barista with your coffee, with your investment like that. So Dario, Kate, Luchle, polishing cups until late last night, getting us ready for the day. I'm so grateful for every single person that has come through to support and been a part of this journey. And then, yeah, my beautiful fiance, Quinn. She is always last on the list, but the top of my list. Her patience has been phenomenal, and her support has been even more so.
Last on the list, but the top of my list. Can we get one big round of applause for Fanie Botha, Bluebird Coffee Roastery? Thank you very much, Fanie. So we have one more barista competitor left for the day. Her name is Tiny Shabalala, and she'll be representing.
Whoops, sorry.
I think Tribeca
Like
HQ is
Seoul.
close by. I'm from Cape Town, but I don't know how close Tribeca is. She'll be our last competitor for the day.